Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brandon Shank, and welcome to the Brandon Shank Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brandon Shank Podcast. It's beautiful summer day. It's July 3rd. We're coming into our Independence Day, the celebration that marks the beginning of so many great things of the summer.
Yeah.
July the 4th. I feel like July 4th is kind of like it's kind of a break for me. Before July 4th feels like the beginning of summer. After July 4th feels like everybody's getting ready for school and football. It's weird. It's like the break.
Oh, man.
I know. It's kind of weird.
Now you stressed me out.
Yeah. Well, I feel like post July 4th, everybody's thinking about school.
That's true. That's
Before
very
July
true.
4th, it's all about summer.
Yeah.
Ocean breeze and bush
That's
gardens.
true. That's very true.
You know what I mean? Summertime's different after July 4th. But hey, enjoy your 4th of July tomorrow. Go see you guys going to see some fireworks?
I don't think so. I don't even know what we're doing yet, so I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. We might just be hanging out with neighbors, chilling, doing something.
Yeah, I think we're going to put on some music, barbecue, pool. And
Absolutely.
Then, you know, Rylan and Casey are big on fireworks, so we're probably going to go down the beach, watch fireworks. They want to see them.
Yeah.
To them, that's not 4th of July until you see the big fireworks. I was like, well.
Oh, there's a parade somewhere that I think we're doing.
There's usually a lot of neighborhoods have 4th of July parades.
Duh,
You ride
I'm
around
an
your
idiot.
bikes.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, our neighborhood has one.
Yeah. Every neighborhood we used to live in had them.
Yeah.
Big ride your bikes. I'm sure for all you that are, decorating your kids' bikes, have a good 4th of July. Our former neighborhood used to put on legit fireworks. I mean, you're not allowed to in Virginia, but they did it.
Yeah.
And it was legit.
You sent me pictures. Yeah.
These weren't like M80s in the backyard.
It was intense.
Yeah, these were
for
intense
sure.
fireworks. People would come from all over to watch these things.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing, what is a movie that you love to watch in the summertime that kind of brings you, is there any movie that like every year you watch in the summer, it's like a summertime movie for you?
I don't know if I have summer movies. I mean, it's a good time that I like to, we do movie nights and stuff with the kids. So there's a lot of movies probably. So my brain would probably immediately go to just a lot of animated movies. It's like a lot of kids stuff. I mean, I like to go to the movies and stuff like that. I just saw Furiosa the other day. It's really good. I don't know. I don't know if one pops out in my brain.
Furiosa, Mad Max?
Yeah, it's Mad Max. Yeah. So I just went to see that with Buddy. Yeah, one doesn't really stand out though. Just movies with the kids.
See, for me, hands down, summertime movie. We watch it all the time. I'm watching it. I'm going to watch it tonight, I think.
Yeah.
Sandlot.
I mean, I knew you were going to say that.
Got it.
It's a classic.
It is. And it's a summertime movie. It's a July 4th movie.
Yeah.
That, and my wife and I always watch Independence Day.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Now that's up my alley.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
So we watch that usually on the night of July 4th once we get back, get the kids in bed, after fireworks. Even though no matter how late it is, we'll start Independence Day.
What is it about that movie? Because you're not a big sci-fi guy. Is it the Will Smith aspect? Is it just because it's July 4th? Because that's not typically your style of movie.
No. Will Smith, hands down.
For
and
sure.
then what's the other dude that is a funny...
Goldblum? Yeah.
Is that the dude who dies? No. Jeff Goldblum he's great.
Yeah.
But the guy who is like the crazy guy that lives in the RV with his family.
Oh, what is
and
his
he's
name?
like
Yeah.
he flies the flies
plane.
into the that guy, he was the good dude off of National Lampoons.
Yes, I
Cousin
can't remember
Eddie.
his name.
Anyway, so for me, this is what sci-fi. So a lot of times sci-fi movies are just too serious for me. Like, everybody who makes sci-fi movies are so serious, and the movies are so serious. Everybody who watches them is so serious. It's never like comedy. It's always like, yeah, did you see on the land of Xandoff when they took the telebystrometer and they zapped the guy? Can you believe that happened? That was unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't even sleep. And I'm thinking,
I'll give you that.
what world are you living in?
Yeah.
Like, you tell somebody you don't like Star Wars that like Star Wars, and you've just told them that you're the Antichrist. So I think one of the things with sci-fi for me is that people who watch it are like so serious about it.
Yeah.
And like, I think Independence Day was like, it's funny.
Sure.
It's a funny movie.
It's an action movie.
And so I don't know a lot of sci-fi movies personally. If they have comedy in them, like what is it? Men in Black.
Yes, that's comedy.
Like, I don't
sci-fi.
watch a lot of those, but if I'm watching sci-fi, like, those are kind of funny. But Will Smith, once again, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I think to answer your question, I don't mind sci-fi if there's comedy.
Gotcha.
Because I think that stuff's funny to me because it's not so serious. But a lot of times people that, in my opinion, the people I know that watch sci-fi, they kind of live in these sub-worlds sometimes. Like, they talk about all the details of, like, it's a whole world that doesn't even exist. And it's like so serious.
You are kind of right. Like, there's not, I'm looking it up, like sci-fi comedies. There's good ones. Don't get me wrong. Like, you got like Back to the Futures and that kind of stuff. Those
but
are
would
great.
you even consider Back to the Future sci-fi?
Yes,
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably, man.
Because see, I wouldn't.
It's more of like an adventure movie first.
For me,
and then a
I can
sci-fi.
understand that stretch, but I don't look at Back to the Future. I look at it as absolutely there's some sci-fi. I get that, but I don't look at that as like Aliens or like the movies like that are just very different.
But we do need
like Dune.
We do need better comedy sci-fis. Again, I'm not saying there's not good ones out there, but I'm just saying we need better comedy sci-fi.
I would watch them if they were comedy.
Yeah.
So I don't care for sci-fi, but I love comedy. I love to laugh. So when stuff is funny, I'll watch it. So yeah, to answer your question, that's probably why like Independence Day, the movie itself, like I think it's cool. Like I don't not like it. I think it's aliens, it's whatever. But like Batman, for instance, right?
Yeah.
That's the only sci-fi movie that I actually enjoy. Like The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. And some people would say, well, it's not even really like it's sci-fi, but it's almost not. It's like on the edge.
Yeah.
Because true sci-fi people probably wouldn't
consider about the
it.
Christopher Nolan ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
that's
for me, I like those because they're more action than they are anything, and they got a little bit of comedy in them. Especially with like the Joker, and they got a little bit of comedy in them.
Yeah.
They're dark, but I'm not really sci-fi is just I guess so stiff to me that I like to laugh, and so when and I don't like just comedies. Like, dude, I love like Lone Survivor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You also like really kind of deep dramas, but they're usually based in reality. They're reality
like sci-fi
dramas.
movies just to me they're just stiff.
Yeah.
And so I love comedy. So like Will Smith, dude, he's hilarious in that movie.
Yes. Yeah. Trust me. I mean, I know it's a little hard after he slapped Chris Rock, but I used all the Will Smith.
Well, I mean, Will Smith made a mistake. The man made a mistake on international television. Like shouldn't hit people. That's a golden rule as you learn as a child. He messed up, but he's still a great actor. You can't take that from him.
Oh no, absolutely.
And he's still, he's I still like his movies. I'm not saying I'm
for sure.
Advocate, supporter of everything he represents, but I support him as an actor. I think he's good. So, have you ever heard of the term summer showers? If you hear that term, what are you thinking? Summer shower.
See, my brain immediately goes, "What's that saying? Like May showers bring what?" I don't.
So you're thinking rain.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
So we have a term in my house called summer shower, where like the boys get done baseball.
Oh, okay.
It's like, hey guys, let's just go take a summer shower, and we all jump in the pool.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Casey's like, all the boys need baths. I'm like, y'all, let's just go swim for half an hour and then go to bed. So I'm not saying it's a good thing, but this morning I took a shower and I realized I don't think I'd showered in 2 or 3 days.
Yo, just a bunch of summer showers?
No, like I know I showered Sunday. I'm pretty sure I showered Monday.
Bro. That's what I'm saying. You're just jumping in the pool.
Swimming.
Gotcha.
Let's go swimming. Now, I wasn't like I worked out today and I was like, I got to take a shower. I didn't work out yesterday. I worked out Monday. So I know Monday after I worked out, I did shower.
Yeah.
But then after that, I'm like, I go swimming all the time. Like, and so I'm just going to go swimming. And it's not like I'm thinking I'm not going to shower. But in the summertime, I think I swim all the time, and I don't know that I shower as much. I mean, it's just a repenting. I'm just confessing right here.
That's wild.
I'm not one of these people that like, I don't know. I don't think about it. Like, there's times so before I had a pool, my wife will tell you, like, she's like, you take 2 and 3 showers a day. I hate sweating and just being sweaty.
Gotcha.
So I don't mind being out and about, but if I'm out and about for like 20, 30 minutes or an hour and I just come home and I'm sticky, I'll go shower.
Gotcha.
So I hate sitting around just being sticky.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I couldn't shower multiple times in a day.
Yeah.
Like morning, evening, sure, but like
that's
in the
me.
middle of my day.
No, like in the middle of my day, it would be like if I'm outside for like an hour and I just get disgustingly sticky,
sure,
I'll go shower.
Gotcha.
Not if I'm mowing the grass, but if I'm outside talking to a neighbor and it's like dripping sweat outside, I'll go shower. I just can't stand to sit around and be sticky.
So you just said not if you're mowing the grass.
No, I said not. No, I said not just mowing the grass.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Not just mowing the grass. Gotcha. No, after I mow the grass, I like to not shower for 3 days.
I won't do it if I mow my grass, but I'll do it if I'm talking.
But what
to my
I learned
neighbor.
now is like, dude, it'll be nighttime. I'm like, hey, let's go jump in a pool, turn on the lights, and just go swim. Like, absolutely. So for me, I found that like instead of taking 3 showers a day, I'm swimming all the time.
I mean, yeah, I used to have a pool and I did that all the time.
Yeah,
too.
And so,
but I don't know if I went 3 or 4 days without.
I didn't say 3 or 4. I said 2 or 3. So I know I showered Monday. I'm pretty sure I didn't shower yesterday, and I showered this morning. Wait, I showered Monday night.
Oh boy,
does that count? Monday night and Wednesday morning.
Monday night. Oh, I mean, that's not terrible.
No, but for me, I was because Casey will tell you, man, he would shower 2 or 3 times a day during the summer because I just hate being sticky.
Yeah.
But now, like, the summer shower, baby, jump in that pool.
God, oh yeah,
that's all
absolutely.
you need. Takes care of business.
I agree.
It's the best feeling after you get done mowing grass. You jump in your pool.
I 110% agree. Yeah,
it's the best shower or the best summer shower. Anyway, hey y'all, enjoy your summer showers and your pools. Now, if you're in the ocean, you need to take a real shower. That place is nasty.
That's true.
We had a kid on our all-star teams have to come off the roster because he got bit by a shark.
What?
Yeah, they get bit in the foot. The girl, one of our softball teams.
Wow.
Virginia Beach, man, got bit in the foot.
Like what?
There was
Just
4
kind
bites.
of a little baby shark.
I don't know,
obviously.
but it bit. I mean, it took half of her foot. Like it bit into it. Like she had stitches. Like she's able to play.
It didn't
for
eat
states.
her foot off. It just
No, but it bit it. I mean, it bit her foot.
You said it took half her foot.
Well, it did. It bit half her foot.
So it was
So it stitched half her foot up. I don't know what it looked like when he bit it.
Yeah.
Or when it bit it.
Yeah.
But that team's going to states, so she'll get to play in states, which is cool.
Oh man. Okay.
So congrats to her for that.
That's crazy.
It stinks, but I guess in the backside of it, at least you get to still play. But
yeah.
So what kind of fun fact do you have for us today?
Well, I've got a really fun one. It is getting close to the Olympics, as we've continued to talk about, and there's things about every Olympic Games that I think we can look back and kind of stands out. Yes, the medals and all sorts of stuff, but do you remember the wild packs of dogs in Sochi? That was kind of a thing. That was a thing. And then the green pool in Rio.
Yes, I remember the green pool.
Remember the green pool? But there was every Olympic Games are kind of marred by something. Well, this one already has its something. And if you haven't been seeing in the news lately, this is something that's kind of gone viral. Basically, the government of Paris, anytime an Olympic Games comes to a country, city, whatever, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of money that has to be spent to kind of get ready for these events. Well, Paris has the Seine River that goes through it, and apparently this river is nasty. It's just gross, right? People don't swim in it because they can't, because of the amount of sewage and E. coli and bacteria that is in the water. So people forever have been asking for this river to be cleaned up. But more than that, like any government, the people are asking things of the government. But, it sounds like in Paris, and not unlike here too, it sounds like, man, the needs of the people aren't really being heard. The government doesn't really care about the people, yada, yada. Well, anyway, the Olympic Games comes, and the president and the mayor come out, and they basically say, like, hey, we're gonna clean up the Seine River, and just to prove it, we're going to go swimming in the river. So it comes out that this is going to be some $1 billion project, crazy amount of money. Well, the people are upset, and so they begin to plan a protest. And they're upset. You might think, like, well, didn't they want the river clean? Well, they're upset because a lot of other needs have gone unseen, and it feels like the government doesn't really care. Now that the Olympics coming, all of a sudden they care now that the river has to be cleaned up. Well, so there was this day that the president and the mayor said, we are going to swim in the river to prove to you that it's clean. And so that was supposed to happen on the 23rd of June. It didn't happen because the river is not clean. Their billions of dollars that are spent isn't doing what it's not fixing it. Anyway, the protest, so this year's Olympics, the new thing is the Paris pooping protest.
What?
So a website popped up after the president and the mayor claimed this. People noticed that a website popped up on the internet that was all about how this protest was asking people to poop in the Seine River. And so basically in protest. So there is an entire website dedicated to when these politicians were supposed to swim in the river. You could go on this website, you could put in where you live in Paris, and they would tell you the time that you would need to poop so that when you flushed, it would be in the river and hit the point where these politicians were going to swim.
Wow, that's some
how dedicated.
That's some deep hatred.
That's how dedicated this was.
Hatred.
So we're kind of now in flux right now because the politicians didn't swim in the river.
Or in flush.
They didn't swim in the river on the 23rd because
everybody's pooping in it?
Well, not everyone's pooping in it. Well, apparently there's plenty of poop in the river already.
So wait, the river carries fecal matter?
From my research, it seems like
if you can flush and it appears at a certain time?
Yes, from my research, when you flush your toilet in Paris, it's just going in the river, is what it seems like.
No wonder it's dirty.
So, or traces of it, I don't know. Anyway, the river's disgusting, and you don't see people swimming in it. You're not supposed to swim in it. And basically, these politicians, they were supposed to go swimming in, I think, the 23rd, and they just didn't. And it's coming out basically now that it's like, well, their plans to clean up the river haven't been going as expected, and so much so that there's a lot of like I guess the committees of the Olympic or whatever are kind of worried that basically there's no plan B for these open water swimming events that are supposed to take place in the Seine River.
No way.
Yeah, there's no plan for it. So the river is still full. We're what, 2 months away or something like, I can't remember. We're close. And I've seen reports that like there's still dangerous levels of E. coli in this river.
Even if I'm if I'm an Olympian and I'm flying to Paris to compete in the Olympic Games, no matter what they tell me, I'm sketched out about jumping in this river to swim. And you're going to open your mouth and swallow water or have water hit you inside of your mouth? Yeah. Come on, dog.
Or even like, they do those like boating events and stuff or whatever, rowing. It's like, what if you fall in? Like, this is a big deal. And so, again, now so we don't know what's happening with the protest. But I dare say at this point, if those politicians are going to jump into the water at some point to prove, there's probably going to be a lot of people pooping in this river in Paris.
You know what I find? The whole thing with the Olympics is such an upside down cultural thing. The world, the Bible says the wisdom of the world is folly.
Yeah.
The world has so many needs, such as a river that's full of poop. People that are starving, Medicare or medical treatment that's not sufficient for everybody. Like there's so many different things. What gets me is that's so interesting to me is that every time the Olympics are hosted by a country has problems. So you remember whenever Brazil hosted the Olympics.
Yeah.
All the crime, all the stuff that went down, but have you seen pictures of countries that host the Olympics and now what's happening to those stadiums that they built? Like one of the stadiums they built and Brazil had no money. They were in a very tight financial space. They had to borrow money. They were, the amount of money, it was something ridiculous, like thousands and like $40,000 a month just to keep the lights on at a stadium they don't even use anymore. They use one of the stadiums for storage. Crazy. That was used for soccer. They showed the indoor, the facility where Michael Phelps broke all those records. In the parking lot, the grass is like 3.5 feet high in the whole parking lot.
That's wild.
And the swimming complex is just shut down. Like they don't use it. They use it for the Olympics, and then they legitimately, whenever it was over, they just closed the doors behind the last person, haven't opened them. Like these billions of dollars that the infrastructure was counting on. And I've seen pictures. ESPN did a big follow up on it about all these different countries and these moments that happen in the Olympics that we celebrated that are international moments.
Yeah.
These places are grown up and beaten up, and like I said, where they had these big soccer stadiums are now just they don't have use for them in these countries after you build all this stuff.
It's crazy.
And I feel like the Olympics are just there's a part of me that I think it's something that's great to bring the world together.
Yeah.
But you almost wish they would build an Olympic place that just stays there and they just use the same place for the winter and the same place for the summer and the whole world contributes.
Yeah.
And it's like a place that is like shared land. And I know like what country's going to give that away. My point is it just seems like a waste to do this. It's just such a waste of money when you could be helping a lot of people. And I think the Olympics are great to bring people together.
Yeah.
But I just think it's such a
that is
waste.
tough. Where would you do that? Yeah. Antarctica?
Virginia Beach.
The moon?
Virginia Beach. Bring it here. We got an ocean. We got pools.
Yeah, right. That is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like for your country to host an Olympic event, there should probably some kind of discussion of like, well, this is what we're going to use those things for afterwards.
Well, we're hosting the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
America's hosting it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
We're not building any stadiums for that.
Well, we don't need to.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And this isn't me being a passionately arrogant American.
Sure.
I'm saying we don't have to build stuff for that. We have stadiums here for that.
Yeah.
And when you go to places that don't we went to Brazil and hosted this or did these Olympics, and now to see what it did to that country, somebody should care. Somebody should care. Like there are people there that aren't eating, but they're building billions of dollars worth of stadiums for or hundreds of millions or whatever it is. And it just seems like such a waste. And this is a time where they were borrowing money to keep the lights on. The crime was so bad.
Jeez.
It's just sad because then when we leave, the Olympics are gone, these people are still hurting. And I'm not trying to be the good Samaritan. I'm not trying to be Robin Hood here. I'm just saying, the people in Paris, like, I understand. I'd be really frustrated. Like, let's talk about America. Let's talk about the jobs. Let's talk about the interest rates. Let's talk about the just absolute dumpster fire that our interest rates and our economy is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It isn't better. It's garbage right now compared to the interest you can't afford. Right now, they were saying if you buy a house that in like 4 or 5 years ago would cost you, I don't know, I'm trying to do the math, something like $1,200 or $1,500 a month. Now it would be like $2,400 for the same house.
Yeah.
I have realtors telling me that they can't sell homes because they're trying to explain to their people that are selling, listen, you can rent this home for $1,800. If you sell it, people are going to pay $32. Why would somebody buy it?
Yeah.
And people aren't buying the house because they're like, I'm not paying the interest on that house. My point is, the American economy it's not a great place. And if we were to host an Olympics and then our house prices went up and our interest rates went through the roof, how would we feel?
Yeah.
Probably like we do right now.
Absolutely.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like, people can say what they want, but the American economy is, people can't afford to live right now. Everything is so expensive. And it's not just these companies trying to take advantage. These companies are having to raise prices so that they can continue to survive.
Yeah.
It costs them more money to make the same product. I paid $5 yesterday at 7-Eleven for beef jerky. For one stick of beef jerky, Jack Link's. I couldn't resist. I had a Slurpee. And everybody knows Slurpee and beef jerky go well together.
They're good
and
together.
Jack Link's teriyaki beef jerky. Come on, dog.
Oh, teriyaki?
Yeah. The big, like the strip. It was $4.
Yeah.
Me and Kaden both got those, got Slurpees, and we got water, and it was like $20.
It is crazy.
It's expensive to live.
Yeah.
And so my point is, as Americans, like, y'all can relate to this. If this was our country, we would put our foot down. Be like, no, we're not doing that. You guys are wasting all this money. And there would be all kinds, there would be riots and everything else. So I don't know. I think we got to be careful. And you're not pointing fingers. I'm saying as people in these countries, they give so much that they don't have for these Olympics.
Yeah.
And I think Olympics are great, but I think like the way they weigh on a country is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And a lot of these stadiums, like I say, they sit empty. You build a stadium for something that's specific to the Olympics, meaning you didn't need it before that. The Atlanta Braves played in their stadium for all those years. It wasn't even a baseball stadium, but it was built for the Olympics. You know what I mean? And they played it. Now there's a football team that plays in it. There's college that plays in it. I think it's I want to say Georgia State, maybe, whatever it is. But they play in it, so it's being used.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of scenarios where that's not the case. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sit on a soapbox here. I'm just saying I can understand the frustration of these people with the economies. It's like, come on, man. Like, I don't care that the Olympics are coming here when I can't afford my house payment.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm saying.
It's bigger things.
Yeah, and this is not a political podcast, but we have opinions, and this is one of them.
Yep.
Is like, let's be honest, all of us would like to be able to do more with our money. Right now, money doesn't go far in America.
Yeah.
At all.
It's wild.
It
really
wild.
is.
It's so expensive. I mean, I take 6 of us to Chick-fil-A. It's $80.
Yeah.
That ain't an exaggeration.
Yeah,
We go out to dinner, $200, $150, $200 with tip. There's no way around it.
Our only hope is Arizona tea. It's our only hope.
Why is that?
Because we just stay at that 99 cent.
Is it still there?
Hope.
Is it
our only
hovering?
hope? Yeah, I remember watching a video of the CEO of Arizona Tea, and that basically the reporter was asking him, like, why do you do this? And he's like, I've got enough money. Like, people are hurting. Like, they need, like, everything's so expensive. He's like, we're good.
Let's go Arizona iced tea.
And then they were basically like, well, how long can you keep this up? And he's like, as long as I can. I was like, let's go, dude.
Well, and to their credit, Arizona iced tea is legit.
It's really
good stuff. Hey, you asked for it.
Woo.
Don't blame me. You asked for it.
So I got in my car this morning and it smelled horrible. And my car never smells horrible. I got the Ulu Lagoon air fresheners. They smell good.
Ulu Lagoon?
Yeah, they're good, man. You need to get
interesting.
some.
All right.
They smell delicious. And I was like, what is that smell? I didn't have any food in here. I looked in my back seat, and yesterday Caden had a workout for baseball, and then he had a practice. Yeah. And so in between the workout, he was in an indoor facility. Then he went to practice, and he changed his stuff out. So his socks were in my back seat. That ain't funny. It's nasty, dog.
Sweaty socks.
Nasty.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what does that smell? I was like, you got to be kidding me. But it leads me to my next thing. I have a picture here that I'm going to share with all of you that are watching. If you're not watching, that's fine. Okay. But those of you who are watching, I want you to take a look at this because all of us can relate.
Here, I can do my best. Here.
You see that?
Put it down a little bit. Just close.
What?
Clothes everywhere.
Clothes. No, those are socks.
Oh, those are socks?
Those are just socks.
Oh,
now, let me tell you the worst part about this, just socks. Right. These are all one-offs. What? These are all ones that we have no matches for in my house.
That's wild.
Yeah. That's $100 worth of socks. I'm like, where's all the other ones? Because see what happens is my boys just wear random socks. They don't ever match them.
Yeah.
So my wife says, hey, you guys need to come in here and match these. They don't know where the matches are for any of these socks. There's 100 socks there. They don't know where any of the matches are. I'm like, dude, that's like a couple $100 worth of socks.
Yeah.
I want to know, where do all the socks go? I think washing machines are built to eat them.
That's
or
good,
dryers.
That's a good point.
Where do they go?
Yeah.
From the time you wear them to put them in the dirty clothes to putting or in the hamper to the washer and dryer back to your, they go missing. And you never find them.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever found all the missing socks? You're telling me there's 150
I mean, again, I don't have 4 kids, but we have a right by the washing machine. There is a little board that I can't remember what it says. It says something kind of stupid, clever, whatever you want to do. Like some little saying that's like missing a pair or something like that. And it's got little clothesline things. And so when you find one that doesn't have a pair, Lauren just puts it, or whoever does, she's just like, "Oh, go put that up if you can't find the pair." And that by the next wash, hopefully you find the pair. But we only have maybe like 3 or 4 that are missing their
You saw what I just
their
showed
sibling. You. That's wild.
Tell me about it. I was like, Casey, what is this? She goes, those are all one-offs. She's like, we can't find a match to any of those. How?
I'm just surprised that your brain can keep track of like 100 different socks that are like, well, this one's doesn't have a pair. Like socks are they're very similar. I don't know. That's crazy. My brain can't comprehend that.
Me neither.
Yeah, because you'd have to believe that there's a pile of 100 other ones.
Where could they be?
Yeah, I feel like you just need to spend a whole day and go through your drawers and just undo every pair of sock that you have. There's probably socks in there that aren't pairs, that aren't matching.
Even thinking about it makes me really, really low.
What a day that would be.
Dude.
Your whole family.
Did your kids' room stay pretty clean?
Ish. I would say clean-ish.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say ish. I would just say no. Straight no. Not a chance.
Surprisingly,
we tell them to clean all the time. It just takes a day.
Surprisingly, my youngest, who is the most 110% energy all the time, his room actually stays cleaner than Maddox's.
Really?
Yeah, Maddox, he's my messy kid. He's like, disgrace to my younger sister. But my younger sister growing up too, she's just like, she'd like eat a snack on the couch and stuff and then just like literally put the wrapper behind the couch. And I'm like, and we would like move the couch out from the wall and there'd be like 100 granola bar wrappers behind the couch. And we were like, what is wrong with you? You're psychotic. Like there's something wrong.
It's not hard to just walk
from the couch. Yeah. Maddox like kind of has similar tendencies. I'm not saying he's that bad. He's not but he just leaves stuff everywhere. Like it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all of my kids. They won't just leave. I mean, yeah, it's like constant. Like if I can ever make enough money to get a maid, not a live-in maid, but somebody that comes in and cleans our house,
yeah,
I'll do that because it would help my wife out so much.
Sure,
because it's a lot of house.
It is
a lot of kids.
Yeah,
and it's constant, like bathrooms, and I mean, it's just so much. Yeah. Like my wife loves the space and hates the cleaning it.
Well, if you got 100 lost socks, that's.
At least.
I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm impressed with your children.
I think we're just showing everybody, the world, how unorganized and horrible we are as parents.
I bet you I know what happened because knowing your boys, they go hard. They just disintegrated. I think the other, they probably had it on their right.
Shrapnels on their
right foot. That's their pivot foot. They just disintegrated in their shoes.
Yeah, I used to think we were good parents, and then I saw that picture and I realized it's a picture of my life right now. I feel like.
Did you post that? I feel like you need to post that.
I fall apart. Yeah.
I feel like you need to post it.
It'll get posted.
And ask the world out there, does anyone else have this issue or this problem as bad as we do?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. I'm wondering if our life would look like that. It's been busy, dog. It's been a busy. No, my wife, man, Casey, to her credit, every day, all day.
Yeah.
Is cleaning and doing laundry.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Every day, all day. And we still haven't fully moved in. We moved in October. We're finishing off a part of our, finishing off construction, not on our house, but on our garage for an apartment. And it's just, we haven't slowed down.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can relate to this. This spring we had 8 baseball games and 6 practices per week. Even now, like this weekend, Casey's gone with a tournament with Caden. Next weekend, we're gone with Rylan to a state tournament. The weekend after that, we're here. The weekend after that, we're in Kansas City for 2 weeks for a baseball tournament. And then we're home.
Yeah.
And I'm quitting everything.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm so ready to just be home. I haven't been home a lot this spring. I've been gone a ton. You know what I mean? I'm ready just to be home, man. I'm ready to lock in and just be here, and there's some other things in the fire that are cool. We got some things happening, but I'm excited to go out to Kansas City. That'll be a fun trip.
Yeah.
Just get to travel. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't love traveling in the summertime,
Yeah.
The open roads and the beautiful farms. It's just, I like going out there.
Do you know like how deep into Kansas you are?
No.
No, yeah, because sometimes driving through Kansas, that was
Well, it'll be more through like Indiana, Illinois, where it's just soybean and long farms.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
honestly, man, we used to live out there, and I just love the pace of the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's like the Midwest summers are so nice. Like Caden was born in Missouri.
Yeah,
So we've lived.
it's definitely beautiful. For
Yeah.
sure.
And so those drives, sometimes I'm at the point in my life where I would rather fly any day.
Yeah,
But I wish I could fly my RV out there. That's the only reason I'm driving.
yeah.
But with driving, there's almost a point in my life now, and maybe some people can relate to this, where when you're driving, there's nothing else you can be doing.
Sure. Yeah,
And you're sitting there,
just kinda
and the
zone
kids can be
out.
eating snacks, watching movies, whatever, but you're just sitting there driving.
Yeah,
And there's serenity about that.
sure.
Do you ever feel like that?
I 110%.
Where you're
agree
like,
with
I
that.
can't do anything but sit here and look at the road, and there's something calming at this point about that.
Now, I just like some swerves and some bends in the road. Kansas is just like, yo, can I get a turn, please?
Yeah. No, see, I don't care about any of that, man. I grew up on the East Coast and in mountains,
Yeah.
and DC where stop and go traffic. So you get me out on an open road where I can take a little chill and
Yo, you have to be careful of that RV of those winds, though.
yeah.
I was behind some 18-wheelers in Kansas, and there were some moments where I'm like, yo, that thing's
It'll make you tighten up a little bit.
Pucker a little bit.
All right, man. So I got a question for you.
All right.
How do you feel about euthanasia,
Euthanasia? What?
where people are able to take their own life?
Oh,
Basically with doctor. So what we've done in the world is that if we've given a title to somebody, they're allowed to do whatever they want, right? So like there was a story a couple years ago where a woman was aborting babies in her home, and I think there was 7 or 10 babies that she had aborted over the year or two, and so she got charged with 10 counts of murder.
Jeez.
But like 2 miles down the road was an abortion clinic and a doctor who was given a license to abort babies, and he gets paid tons of money to abort babies to them. So if you give somebody a license, it's not murder, but somebody else who doesn't have a license, it's murder. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just, this is the reality. This is a fact. So there's doctors in the Netherlands who they don't have to do euthanasia if they don't want, but there was a couple recently, 70 and 71, they were just euthanized in their home, and the one lady had dementia, and the guy had, for 20 years, had like really bad back pain.
Jeez.
And they just decided they didn't want to live with pain. They didn't want to live in a place where they weren't able to fully function. So the way the son tells the story is they all had dinner together as a family. He said it was really odd, especially the last half hour. They all had dinner together, spent the last moments together. And they said they sat down on the couch and the doctors came in and euthanized them, and that was it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Was this?
And he said it was just a very odd, he's like, I don't know how to feel about it. I lost both my parents in the same day. He's like, it's just a very odd, and I was with my parents last year when they had to put their dog down, and that was traumatic. Like, that's sad.
Yeah.
Because, that's sad, because it's like, once they put the stuff in, they're like, hey, this is to settle him down, and the dog was having trouble breathing and stuff, and then like, the dog was like, relaxed, and they come in, they put the other stuff in, and once they put that in, there's no going back. Like, there's no reverse. There's no Narcan, if you will, for drugs if you overdose. There's no way to reverse it. And it was a very sad moment when they put that stuff in. It was just sad knowing like there's no turning back here. There's nothing that can help this at this point. And I can't imagine doing that to a human being that you love, or watching that. And so I don't know, man. I just think we fluff everything to make it sound okay, but you can't convince me if somebody doesn't want to live because they're in pain. Well, to me, there's a selfishness involved in that too. Of like, well, you have a family, and like it's worth it for them.
Yeah.
Like those kids, those grandkids, like they need you. And you're like, well, it's just too much pain. It's almost like, I can't imagine a scenario where, sure, I've gone through deep depression and probably, if I'm being honest, have begged God to take my life instead of me having to take it myself. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thought of like your kids and grandkids or whatever being around, you're like, it's just going to be euthanized because you're in so much pain or you have dementia. It's like, I just can't imagine ending it like that. And then the thought of what the afterlife looks like.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even put myself in that dimension. It's a whole other dimension of thinking.
Yeah, that's where my brain immediately goes first is like, what thinking about other people Because you're right. That's such a traumatic experience. You said they were like 70 and 71.
Yeah, so they're not even that old.
Yeah. I wonder, like, you just don't know, like, what other roads were considered, what other, as far as like.
But for that to be the end, say I'm going to be euthanized, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that any country would legalize that. To say, well, they have a right to tell us when they want it to be over. Well, how many people chose when they were born? 0.
Yeah.
Nobody chose when they were born.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who haven't even gotten the opportunity to be born. They were killed before they came out of the womb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just think we have made human decision more valuable than humanity itself.
Yeah.
The decisions that humans are quote unquote allowed to make, we have made that more valuable than actual humanity. Because those who are breathing and living, you have a right to make a decision. Well, if you're making a decision, something got you there.
Yeah.
So for you to make a decision, something was made on the front end. You did make a decision, and this is the byproduct. Oh, well, we'll just abort a baby, or we'll just be euthanized.
Yeah.
Well, you made a decision that you have a baby. Now you're saying, well, some people didn't. They were raped. I get all that. But what I'm saying is humanity is making decisions that isolates humanity. We think it's love. We think it's giving people options. It doesn't. It's isolating humanity. You're telling me these people got euthanized. You're telling me their family and their friends and people who love them, like they're leaving these people without parents. The same day, there's a son who said, I don't know how I feel, lost both my parents in the same day. That's his parents.
Yeah.
Like, what should we do as parents? Well, I would say you tough it out and you do whatever you can to be there for your family until there's nothing left in your body.
Yeah.
You don't just choose like, I'm gone. I just don't want to live like this. Like, you have a kid. So yeah, man, I passionately disagree that people should be able to make this decision. And it's like,
yeah.
Dude, I have a grandmother my grandmas are both in their 90s, and one has had a stroke years ago and can't use the whole left side of her body. And the other one, she was able, like 5 years ago, to do a lot more than she can do now. She walks around with her walker and stuff, but they're great, and they're better than they would have been. And I know my one grandma struggled with, thoughts of like, man, I can't even do anything, and she could cook, man. She could throw down. So I know there's got to be that, but she's like, I just spend time praying for my family and different things. She's like, I know that I'm still here for a reason, and I think that's what God gives us. That is like, you're here for a reason. But I can't believe somebody would. I just can't believe this would be something that people would think would be a good idea. Like, there's a whole family left without a mom and a dad. And to me, I'm like, it's bigger than those two people. Like, they shouldn't get to choose that. Like, there's a son who lost both of his parents.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to live, like, I just feel like it's a very selfish decision.
And that's the thing, is I have to imagine
and
that.
I know chronic pain, it sucks, it's horrible. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's humanity.
Yeah.
It's humanity.
Yeah.
There's people who live with chronic pain their whole life and made such a great impact on people and made it about others. And I just feel like there's more to it. This cannot be an acceptable way of doing things.
You'd be hard pressed to believe that, in that state, that depression doesn't exist, and
Sure.
that's also
Absolutely.
altering your decision.
I would agree with that.
I think that anyone who is faced with something like that has a level of depression in their mind, and that could be affecting their decision making for
I agree
sure.
with that.
And that's the struggle I have with it. Is
And that's the sympathy I have.
Yeah, the sympathy,
Because
for
I've
sure,
had
yeah.
depression that's been suicidal.
Yeah.
And I know that if I was convinced there was a humane way to take my life,
Yeah.
that my wife could still collect my life insurance and it would
Sure,
count, I
sure.
probably would have considered it.
Yep.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Absolutely fair.
So I'm not throwing down. I'm just saying humanity we've got to make decisions for people that are in those places to help them and not aid them.
Yeah.
To help them keep going, to help them with pain management, whatever it is. As a community, as a society, I would hope we help people live their life and not choose to die. I don't think that's helping anybody.
Yeah.
There's a family without mom and dad. That's not my take. I think that is absolutely foundational to humanity. Like, man, take care of people. Like, that ain't taking care of them, letting them choose to die. Like, how is that a good thing?
Yeah.
We don't know what they were going through, but they have a family. Like, live for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And it's also, again, I don't know everyone's situation, I don't know everyone's circumstance, but also, like you've already said, that you find purpose in certain things. And I do think that within our struggles, we find purpose, and what could have been, we don't know. Like that's the sad part, I think, about it is you don't know what could have been or what their experiences could have helped. I get dementia is that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. It is. But I don't know. It's you're making a decision, man, a permanent decision that you just don't know what the other side of that decision, what could have been if you didn't make that decision. That makes sense. Like you just don't know, and that's that space where only God knows. And
I agree.
It's difficult, man. That's a difficult one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm anti-euthanasia.
Oh, sure.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
So the other day, my wife and I were purchasing a new vehicle, and I had to use the bathroom, so I had to go down these stairs. I went through the little waiting area. Why is this funny already? You just feel it coming.
I wasn't expecting. Yeah, that.
So I went through the waiting area to get to the restrooms, and there's a massage chair in the waiting area. A full-on massage chair.
Outside of the restrooms?
Yeah, outside of the restrooms.
Okay. Not in the restrooms.
In the waiting area.
Okay.
And so I walk by and I see a little sign on it. Don't pay no attention to it. Use the restroom. Come back, and I look over, and it says, massage chair, please limit time to 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So 2 thoughts go through my mind. One, why are you here longer than that? Because there's no service area. Maybe there was.
You're going to be here a while.
But 2, I want to know what happened. What took place over time for them to put that sign on there?
Someone chilled there.
What?
Yeah, someone.
But what conflict?
Posted up.
What conflict took place where, hey, bro, you've been on there for like an hour. Nah, man, I'm good. No. I said,
it's my turn.
This is my turn. It was a handwritten sign. I would love to know the story. And I asked the salesperson, I said, hey, so what happened for that sign? They just started laughing. They said, I don't know. I guess people really like it. I said, well, if they don't know, maybe it wasn't as big of a deal. But my thought was, what happened for a massage chair to have a handwritten note on it, no more than 30 minutes?
No more than 30 minutes, Greg. Yeah.
You know who you are.
One guy.
Hey, final thought.
Oh, man.
Here's my final thought.
Hey, summertime cooking tip. We're already talking about our summer showers, jumping in those swimming pools, our summer movies with the Sandlot. Summertime cooking tip. How many of you love cold pizza?
I actually do.
I hate it.
I actually
it's
really
disgusting to me.
Especially, I'm going to make a caveat, not really in the evening, in the morning.
That's fine. I still hate it.
It's a breakfast food in the morning at that point.
I will eat cold Chinese.
Ooh, whoa.
It's gross. I know.
Whoa.
But I cannot eat cold
glaze
pizza.
over cold Chinese food.
Listen,
it's like gelatinized at that point.
It really is. I can eat it, though.
That's wild.
But I can't eat cold pizza. I can eat it, but it's disgusting to me. It tastes worse to me than just about anything cold.
Well, is it the sauce? What is it? Because you eat cold cheese.
It's just
cold bread.
It's just I don't know. It's just gross.
It's got to be the sauce.
Yeah, it's just gross. My wife likes it. I'm like, you're nasty.
I love it.
I'm like, y'all are nasty.
It's a perfect breakfast.
No, it isn't. It's gross. But Chinese is perfect. No, but listen, let me tell you what I do. I'm going to give you a cooking tip on how to make pizza as good as when you bought it. Because people don't like microwaving it.
I know how.
Let's hear it.
Air fryer.
That's a great option.
It's a
great option.
It's easy.
Yeah, great option. Microwave's disgusting.
Yeah. Nobody
But
wants.
can I tell you something that I think is a beautiful way? Toaster oven.
Well, that's essentially an air fryer. Yeah, it's the same. It does the same thing.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
And it's crispy, and the cheese is perfect. I had a piece of pizza the other day. I reheated in the toaster oven, and I said, I've got to tell the world.
Oh, yeah.
There are people out there who need this information.
Welcome to the club. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you don't microwave pizza.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of listening right now that their lives are about to change because they're going to get pizza, and tomorrow they're going to air fry it or toaster oven it, and they're going to see that their life is different.
How long did your toaster oven take?
I mean, just like you would toast a piece of bread.
Oh, so it didn't take. Yeah, I'm not saying air fryer, like 2 minutes.
Yeah, a couple minutes. Not long.
Okay, cool.
Not long. And I don't have the air fryer sitting out. Like ours is in our pantry to have to get it out.
Oh,
so
bro,
toaster
you
oven.
got to put that where you can use it every day.
The toaster
change your life.
Well, I know you air fry cereal, you air fry ice cream,
I air fry everything.
Yeah. But see, for me, it's right. And I listen. I'm all in on the air fryer. We just don't have ours sitting out. So toaster oven's right there. I just throw that bad boy in. But listen, my point is, don't settle for less this summer.
Don't.
You make your food as good as you can make it. You take your summer showers and you watch your movies. And by golly, enjoy your summer breaks. You feel me?
I agree.
Let's pray for you, Lord. We thank you for each listener. I pray they have a great summer and great memories. And I pray that you be with them this week. We love y'all in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, see you Sunday, 9:30, Palms Church. As always, see you guys.